Have you ever looked at your life and felt that something has quietly changed, even though nothing looked different on the surface? Maybe the world feels slightly out of place, like a familiar room where the furniture has been moved just an inch. You recognize it, but it doesn't sit the same way it used to. This is often the first hint that your timeline is beginning to shift. Most timeline shifts don't arrive with big announcements. They don't start with dramatic events or sudden awakenings. Instead, they begin with a soft, strange feeling, a small twist in your daily life that makes you pause. You might not know what's happening, but part of you can sense that your life is preparing for a new direction. A timeline shift is simply a change in the path you are moving down. You have not lost control. You're not broken. You're not confused for no reason. You are moving toward a version of yourself that is more aligned with your truth. And before that can happen, your internal world starts to change first. One of the earliest signs of a coming shift is increased sensitivity. You might feel things more strongly than usual. You may find yourself overwhelmed by small situations that never bothered you before. This sensitivity is not a weakness, it is your system opening up. When a shift is near, your intuition becomes louder because it wants to guide you. Your mind may feel foggy, but your inner sense becomes sharper. You begin to understand things without needing an explanation. Another sign is that old interests stop feeling meaningful. A timeline shift often pulls you away from what no longer fits your growth. You might lose interest in certain hobbies, routines, or even certain people. This change is not a sign of failure, it is a sign of evolution. What once kept you comfortable may now feel cramped, like clothing that is a size too small. Your soul is asking for a different experience, and it needs space to move. You may also notice a subtle disconnect from your environment. Places you usually enjoy may suddenly feel heavy. Conversations that once excited you may now feel exhausting. Certain habits may feel unnatural, almost like you're pretending to be someone you no longer are. This sense of distance is not apathy. It is the early stage of stepping out of an old version of yourself. You are slowly separating from the timeline you have been living in. During this phase, time itself may feel inconsistent. Some days pass extremely fast, while others feel slow and stretched. This happens because your mind is adjusting to a new pace. When a shift begins, your inner world tries to match the movement of your outer path. This creates a temporary feeling of imbalance. You're not losing track of time on purpose, you're adapting to a new flow. Another common experience is the increase of sudden clarity. You may have random moments where everything feels obvious, even for a brief second. You might understand why something had to happen, or what someone was trying to teach you, or why a certain pattern kept repeating. These moments are short but powerful. They act like flashes of light in a dark room. They help you see what is changing, even if you don't understand the whole picture yet. Strange memories might also appear. Not memories of your past, but memories of possibilities, thoughts of a life you haven't lived but somehow remember. These imagined memories can be confusing, but they are your mind exploring the new timeline you're stepping into. It's like trying on a new outfit before buying it. Your consciousness tests what matches your future before you commit to it. Another sign is that your inner dialogue changes. You may start speaking to yourself more kindly or more honestly. You might find yourself questioning decisions that you used to accept. You may begin noticing habits that don't support your well-being. This shift in self-talk is important because your new timeline requires a different kind of truth. You can't move into a new path with an old voice. Your inner language must evolve. You might even experience sudden urges to clean, organize, or remove things from your space. This is more than ordinary tidying. It is an internal need to clear energy. When your timeline changes, your environment often reflects the inner shift. You feel drawn to remove objects that hold old memories or old emotions. You want more space, more air, more simplicity. This is your soul preparing for new energy to enter your life.
Another sign is increased emotional release. You might cry for no clear reason or feel frustration that seems out of place. Old emotions rise because the new timeline cannot carry them. Every tear, every moment of confusion, every wave of sadness is actually a release of old energy. These emotions are leaving so you can move forward lighter. Emotion is energy, and when your timeline shifts, heavy energy must be released. You may also notice unusual coincidences. You think of someone and they text you. You start seeing repeated numbers like 111, 222, or 555. You overhear conversations that answer questions you were thinking about. These signs are not random. They happen when your awareness becomes more open. You become more connected to the flow of your life, and the world responds. Synchronicities are small signals that you're aligning with a different path. Your dreams may also become more vivid. Sometimes they feel symbolic. Sometimes they feel like messages. You might dream of people you haven't seen in years, places you've never visited, or situations that seem impossible. These dreams act like inner guidance. They help process the transition before you experience it in real life. Dreams are often the first place where your new timeline shows itself. Another sign is a sudden desire to slow down. You may not want to rush anymore. You might crave silence, rest, or solitude. This is because your energy is adjusting. Your mind needs quiet to integrate the shift. Rest is not laziness, it is preparation. You are gathering strength for the next stage of your life. Finally, one of the strongest signs of a timeline shift is the growing feeling that change is coming, even if you don't know what it is. You feel it in your chest, in your thoughts, in the way you look at the world. It's a quiet knowing. You can't explain it to others, but you can feel it deeply. This knowing is your intuition confirming that your path is moving. A timeline shift is not something you force, it is something you allow. It is a natural movement toward a version of life that matches who you are becoming. When you notice the signs, try not to fear them, try not to resist them. These changes are not here to break you, they are here to guide you.
When a timeline shift becomes stronger, life begins to move in ways that feel intentional, even if the events themselves appear random. You might notice that certain parts of your life start speeding up while others slow down. This uneven pace can feel confusing, but it is part of the transition. The shift is trying to guide you toward a new direction, and to do that, it adjusts the flow of your experiences. One of the clearest signs that the shift is progressing is the sudden ending of long-standing patterns. You may find that habits you've repeated for years simply stop making sense. You might wake up one day and realize you no longer want to engage in the same routines, reactions, or relationships that once shaped your life. This isn't a sign of instability, it's a sign of outgrowing the loop you were living in. The cycle has fulfilled its purpose, and your soul is gently closing the door on it. Another sign is the arrival of unexpected opportunities. These chances might appear out of nowhere. A message from someone you haven't spoken to, a job invitation you didn't expect, or a new idea that feels strangely important. These opportunities don't always look dramatic at first. Sometimes they begin as tiny sparks. But if you feel a pull toward them, pay attention. They may be stepping stones placed along the path of your new timeline. You may also find yourself craving new knowledge. A timeline shift often awakens curiosity that feels different from your usual interests. You might want to learn about topics you never cared about before. You may feel drawn to different philosophies, skills, or creative outlets. This attraction isn't random. Your consciousness is preparing for experiences that belong to the timeline you're entering. It's like your mind is gathering tools for what comes next. Another important sign is the release of old identities. You might notice that labels you once used to describe yourself, your personality, your strengths, your weaknesses, no longer feel accurate. You begin feeling like a different person, even though you're still in the same body. This shift in self-perception can be unsettling, but it is a natural part of transformation. You are letting go of versions of yourself that supported past timelines but cannot guide your future.
During this stage, your relationships may also shift. Some connections grow stronger without explanation. Others weaken, even if no conflict took place. Some people feel closer because they're aligned with your new direction. Others drift because they belong to your old chapter. This isn't about judgment or blame. It's about resonance. Your energy is changing, and relationships respond to that movement. Those who match your new vibration feel easier to be around, while those who don't may fade peacefully. Unexpected emotional calm can also appear. After periods of confusion or sensitivity, you may experience moments of deep stillness. These pauses often feel like standing inside a quiet corridor between two worlds. You aren't fully anchored in the old timeline anymore, but you haven't stepped completely into the new one. This calm is a sign that your inner world is integrating the shift. It gives your mind space to adjust before the next step arrives. Another sign is noticing patterns in your life more clearly. Situations that once felt random begin to form a story. You might see how certain events connected in ways you never realized. You may understand why you met certain people, why certain challenges happened, or why certain doors closed. This increased awareness is part of aligning with your new path. Your vision becomes sharper, and your understanding grows. Physical sensations can also occur. Some people feel sudden bursts of energy, while others feel tired for no obvious reason. You might experience tingling, warmth, or pressure in different parts of your body. You may feel the need to rest more or move your body differently. These sensations are signals from your system. Your body is adjusting its rhythm to match the frequency of your new timeline. Rest when you need rest. Move when you feel called to move. Your body already knows what to do. Another sign is the rise of strong intuition. You may start picking up on things before they happen. You might sense people's intentions without them saying anything. You may know which decisions feel right even when you can't explain why. This increased intuition happens because the timeline shift opens your inner connection. It allows you to read energy more easily. It helps you navigate the path ahead without relying only on logic. You may also feel a stronger desire for authenticity. Pretending becomes difficult. Hiding your truth feels heavy. You want to speak honestly, live honestly, and show up as who you really are. This desire isn't random. Your new timeline requires clarity. It needs you to show up as your real self, not as the version you learned to perform. Authenticity clears the space for the experiences that belong to your future. Another sign is the urge to make changes, even if you don't know the full plan. You might feel drawn to rearrange your room, shift your schedule, or change your goals. You might feel a pull toward new locations or new lifestyles. These impulses come from your higher awareness. It sees what your mind cannot see yet. It feels the direction your life is moving toward, and it tries to guide you gently. There is also something known as the bridge phase. This is when your old timeline loosens, but your new timeline hasn't fully anchored. You may feel uncertain, ungrounded, or in between. You may feel like you're walking through a fog. This phase is temporary, but important. It gives you time to shed old energy and prepare for new experiences. The bridge phase is not a mistake, it is a transition. During this time, life may test your trust. Challenges may appear that push you to strengthen your intuition, your confidence, or your boundaries. These challenges are not punishments, they are adjustments. They help you align with the person you are becoming. Each test shapes your readiness for the new timeline. Another sign is the soft return of hope. Even if life feels scattered, you may sense a quiet optimism inside you. You might feel that something good is coming, even if you can't see it yet. This hope isn't wishful thinking, it is resonance. It is your spirit recognizing the energy of what's approaching. The final sign in this stage is acceptance. Not acceptance of everything, but acceptance of movement. You stop fighting the change. You stop trying to hold on to what is fading. You stop forcing things to stay the same. Acceptance opens the door to the new timeline. It allows life to guide you without resistance. A timeline shift is not about escaping your current life. It's about being guided toward a version of yourself that feels more real, more peaceful, and more aligned. When you feel the signs, trust them. They are not mistakes, they are invitations.